Happy Thursday, everyone. Making you wait a little bit longer then when we just popped up, apparently.
Little
Shout out to our
teaser.
producer, Jacob, there. But yeah, welcome into the PHNX Rising podcast presented by the DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's #1 sportsbook app. I got a weird little look there from Max. What are you thinking about there? What was the... You were pulling a face.
Oh, dude, maybe that was because I had our YouTube stream on as well, and it unmuted itself. So I was listening to us echoing as you were saying things. So I was listening to you like 5 seconds in the past, and I'm like, that's freaky. So it's all good. Nothing against you personally, just past you. That guy was kind of annoying me for a second.
You know, double the underscores. You got to hear it twice as often. You know, that's how we work here. But yeah, Ramon not here. Hopefully he's gets over the man flu soon. We'll
That's nice.
Sorry, Ramon, we're ripping on you in your absence.
I mean, that's pretty par for the course of the show. Yeah.
We love you, Ramon. We love you, Ramon. All right. We've got a lot to go through today. We are, of course, having our PHNX Rising end of year awards, which we're giving out because, of course, no matter who is deserving or who isn't deserving on Phoenix Rising, they're not going to win anything this year. So, hey, we might as well give some out ourselves. And, of course, there's some other news as well that came out today in terms of a player that will be coming back next year and a quote from the club governor regarding the stadium situation. So let's kick straight in. Let's talk a little bit about the team news from today. Gabby Torres will be coming back. The team exercising his option for the 2023 season. Max, I think we all thought this was a given, didn't we, really?
100%. I mean, especially his play down the stretch, just kind of how whenever he was on, just kind of feel like he would invigorate the team, gave them a bit extra of a dimension. And I mean, I'm a big fan of it, kind of versatile in the way that he played. And I mean, like you said, it's kind of a given. It was kind of just waiting for this to happen. And I think it's very definitive with everything else with the club that's kind of up in the air. Nice to see a solidified offseason extension right off the bat. That's something kind of sink your teeth into. Gives us something to look forward to.
Exactly. And it's the first player that we know for certain now is coming back next season. There were a couple of players that have left. From the Antwi didn't have his option utilized. Lamin Jaune as well also hasn't had his option exercised. So first player that we know is coming back now is Gabby Torres. There's going to be a lot more announcements coming, you'd imagine, in the near future. There's supposed to be, or was teased by the team today, that there's going to be one, possibly two next week. Of course, part of that, I'm sure, depends on USL. As we know, the league is notoriously picky about what stage in the process you're allowed to actually announce things before they start fining people. So we'll have to wait and see on those. But hey, it's a good bit of news, at least in Gabby Torres. You mentioned it, and the chat is going off here. Best player since coming in, Michael says, by a good distance. That's, I tend to agree. There's, of course, there have been other comments that have been made out there. Other players that Rising are being linked to, of course. One of them from Indy 11. I've got the name here in a second. Being linked to Erickson Gallardo. One Venezuelan, there's he's not the only Venezuelan the team is being linked to here, but it's interesting. Manuel Arteaga, the other one. Manuel Arteaga being the one from India 11, Erickson Gallego being one they pick up from Venezuela. What do we think about those? I mean, it's clearly a trend of Juan picking up players that he's familiar with. I mean, Arteaga, not necessarily the best stats last season, but not the worst either.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of in that period where I get it makes sense. He has his first full season with the team ahead of him. And so you want to have those players who, yes, I mean, you said it, you have the familiarity where maybe there's still going to be a learning curve coming into the system, but anyone who's able to come in with a bit of a shortened off season, hit the ground running right off the bat, that's going to be a big difference maker, especially when he kind of has to figure out the process of okay, well, who do we still need to re-sign? Who do we feel is going to be in our starting 11? all these questions, like you said when he was on our interview with us, that he's looking to be very aggressive in how they bring in players, how they bring back players, and that they want people to contribute, like, yes, down the road for the future, but like they're looking to compete now. And that really helps when you have people who you're familiar with. And, again, maybe that learning curve just isn't quite as steep.
Yeah, it's also something I think we've seen in the past with Rising, that typically you have those clusters of players that kind of fit in. You had the Spanish boys together for a while. You've had clusters of players from West Africa, and these groups kind of form on the team, and it sometimes helps. Sometimes it's a hindrance when those groups break apart, and you end up then with just like the odd one out that's left. So I understand why, definitely understand why this is the kind of move they're looking to make. Of course, I'm sure there are a lot of people here in the chat, I'm sure we'll speak of in a minute, that they'd rather have another Venezuelan come back, particularly as a member of the coaching staff. But we still have to wait and see on that one, probably until next month, maybe, before we know for certain where that's going. But yeah, something else, though, is going to be happening over the next month, Max.
Oh, yeah, nice setup.
Yeah. There's something else happening over the next month. What's happening over the next month, Max?
You talking about maybe in like a couple weeks, like say 18 days or so.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, wow. Well, I hear there's this place called Four Peaks. I hear they have great beer, and I also hear they have a really cool pub on 8th Street. And I also hear that we're teaming up with them for World Cup watch parties for every single USA and Mexico game. Producer Jacob, cue the graphic. Oh man, dude, that was his chance.
I'm not sure it's in there, Max.
I totally threw him off. I honestly, the fact that, oh man, I set him up. I honestly
set him up for failure, Max.
Well, also, I kind of knew that I might set him up for failure. Just the internal prankster in me. He's probably fuming right now. I'm gonna get an earful after this, but no, honestly, I'm fine with. I'm totally fine with that. No, but Max birthday, I love it. No, but anyway, we're doing every single watch party at USA and Mexico for all those different group stage games. Every single one, 5 out of the 6 of them free. And the Mexico game, the first one at the 9 a.m. kickoff, is going to have a nice breakfast buffet. We're going to have all types of giveaways, guest appearances. I actually got off the phone with Rising, and I hear a little rumor that, certain manager and a certain player are going to be there for a couple of those Mexico watch parties. So come out. I know you're going to be in Qatar. Ramon and I are going to be at every single one of those US and Mexico watch parties. It's going to be on a giant 22-foot screen. Come out, hang out with us. It's going to be a damn good time. $3 beer specials, everything like that. We can throw it in it's going to be in the link in the description, but we're also going to throw it in the chat. That way you can register, but just have a good damn time with us. Like, again, most of these matches are completely free, and yeah, just come hang out. World Cup is freaking awesome. We know who's going to win our group, Owen, but for even the Mexico matches, it's going to be a good time.
There we go. We got a graphic there. Shout out to Jacob getting these things put together at very short notice.
He's giving me a very hard time because I stopped talking as I said cue up the graphic. The best part is like, dude, I was going to do that even if a graphic didn't show up just because I wanted to see his face. Again, I'm going to get an earful of it, but that's okay. But anyway, come check us out. Four Peaks, going to be an awesome time. We love partnering with them on these type of events. And it's just like, it's something about the World Cup, guys. It's going to bring everyone together. USA Wales first match. We'll see if we can get Owen to buzz in.
It's like a 10 p.m. kickoff over there. Like,
you're gonna be dude.
It's my first day there as well. Like, I land the night before. It's gonna be an experience, I'm sure. And for people here talking, Michael here chatting in the going ahead in the chat, I'm just going to point out to Michael that no, the country of Qatar has not paid for my trip.
Good to get that out of the way.
I'm not knocking on anybody. Don't worry.
No. This is a NARC free podcast. This is a NARC free podcast.
Yeah.
We put that on the tape. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, make sure to head out to join Max and Ramon out there at Four Peaks. And of course, with the other guests, beer specials, everything like that. Just remember, of course, if you're going to show up and drink, you got to be 21 or older. You don't have to be to show up, but you do have to be to drink. And of course, make sure, especially with those noon kickoffs, that you're enjoying the drink responsibly.
Oh,
and as Jacob is pointing out down here, we are a NARC-free podcast.
Put that on the tape. Put that on the tape.
Yeah.
And also, I was gonna say, yeah, check out, get the links in the description, all that stuff. But also, bing bang boom. I'll also throw it in the chat as well. Here we go. Take a look. Have fun, everyone.
Have fun indeed. Speaking of fun, isn't it fun to sit around wondering what's happening with the stadium?
Oh man, I thought you'd never ask.
I thought we'd never ask. Yeah, I was told today that it wasn't a ground. Yeah, it's fair enough. They didn't make up the Gabby Torres thing as though it was a groundbreaking announcement. But it would be nice if the club could put out a different kind of groundbreaking announcement.
I see what you did there. Nice.
Sounds as though we're going to have to wait. Sounds as though we're going to have to wait for that. We did have a comment sent to us from PHNX Rising Club Governor Bill Kraus. We can read it out to you now. Rising continues to explore multiple options for the 2023 and beyond, including Wild Horse Pass. The club expects to have confirmation by mid-December and remains focused on creating an improved game day experience. So that's from the club governor, Bill Kraus. And yeah, we're going to have to wait by the sounds. Amid all the discussion about where this club is going, are they in fact going to be going to that site just by the airport in Phoenix? Will they be staying in Wild Horse Pass where, when you talk about the fan experience being paramount, it hasn't been. And it's been quite obvious that, they're not likely to resolve that in the near future, it feels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's all I'll say is this: when you put out, when there's you're putting out there that's like, bam, the mid-December is like that time frame. You actually have some legs of, hey, we have an idea of when we're actually going to be coming to a decision, whether it happens or not. I think that's actually tangible, where it's like, okay, well, now we actually have like something to go on, something to look forward to. I don't know. It's one of those things where we're going to spend the time of overanalyzing, kind of interpreting what all that means. But I mean, no, realistically, the fact that there is a date set on it, I really do think that matters. And coming from, club governor like that, that's massive to me, where that actually can move the needle. Again, wasn't much substance necessarily, want to say, kind of doing the PR spin, what you need to do, but they didn't have to put that out. And the fact that they did, like, it does add something to it. I will say that.
Yeah. And look, mid-December's not great.
No, definitely not.
Most importantly, I mean, if this team is going to move realistically, you need to be making decisions prior to then. Yep. I'm still not fully convinced personally that internally decisions haven't been made and that they're not just still stuck waiting on things.
I mean,
which
honestly,
unfortunately can be the reality of dealing with governmental entities sometimes.
I mean, honestly, and this, maybe I'm like thinking too much into this, but you give yourself the mid-December buffer. To your point, you want to act sooner rather than later. That gives you kind of like a worst case scenario. We're going to have something decided by here. I personally think I could really see something like kind of coming to fruition, like late end of the World Cup group stage, beginning of the round of 16, when all the hubbub, none of the spotlight is on you. It's all across on the other side of the world. And you just kind of sneak in like, oh yeah, by the way, kind of finalize plans. Let's announce something here in a little bit. Like that to me, I feel is the most likely scenario, where it's like, let's really quickly, like discreetly get something done and then really blow it up, announce it as after like the World Cup. That's just my thinking, where if you're going to want to get the most eyeballs and attention on it, that's how you do it.
Right. And it makes sense. I mean, look, ever since the site by the airport was kind of put out there as this, reporting from Arizona Deportiva saying that this is where they'll be moving. Of course, again, we've yet to fully independently verify that, although it does match up with certain things that we've heard. We discussed that all on Tuesday's podcast. If you haven't heard it, make sure to go back, listen to the Tuesday podcast. We talk through what we know, how we feel about these moves in a lot more detail there. But there's definitely, I think, and you saw it a lot more now we can see it, having left the Facebook group and so on to really discuss it, is that there are people, Michael in the chat calls them Whitey McSuburbson. I mean, that's Interpret as you will, but there were definitely people in the Facebook group and in other social media kind of areas that are saying, well, this is, I'm not happy moving there. I don't feel it's safe. I find that weird. I'll be honest. I feel as though there are much worse places. Even from a concerned about. I just don't see what the concern there is really. But hey, people are going to find reasons to moan.
It's just the rule of literally everything. You're never going to make everyone happy, so you try to cater to those who you're going to ride with. And I mean, I think it's like if that's the location that gets solidified and comes out of everything like that, then I think that's, I don't know. Like, I think if you're trying to poke holes in something, there are a lot other places where you can poke more holes in. So it's at the end of the day, they just need to make a decision on where they're going. The time frame's there. Let's just see if and how it actually gets executed on that time.
I mean, look, you mentioned earlier as well, it's key that they get this done by about that mid-December. You want to ride that wave. I think you are 100% correct for the very simple reason that as soon as that place is announced, you're going to want to be pushing season tickets hard, very, very hard. And that's the feel-good moment. That's the moment when everyone has spent the last month thinking about this sport, and hence it draws you back in. But hey, I'm still just intrigued as to how much longer this saga can drag out. It's quite frankly, it's dragged out for too long. Totori's comment, are they keeping the old grandstands for the new stadium? Sorry, we still don't even know where they're going yet. They might not be leaving. We don't know. Like, no one seems to know anything at the moment. And the stories, and this is why I think, look, we have been cautious. We mentioned this on Tuesday, why we've been so cautious around this, because everything that we hear seems to change by the day. It's very fast moving. There's not quite a clear narrative that's been built other than a concern with how things have been going at Wild Horse Pass that leads them into a point whereby they realistically want to think about a move. I still personally would remain shocked if they play at Wild Horse Pass, provided there is an opportunity somewhere else. I don't think they're going to stay there if an opportunity elsewhere presents itself. But it's possible that Rising returns to Wild Horse Pass because no other opportunity does present itself. Hey, that's where we are. We've also got our producer shouting at me that I need to predict the future. $10 an hour. Predict the future. Yes, I will get my crystal ball and. But hey, if you think that you have a crystal ball and you can predict the future, we got some ways for you to win some money.
I knew you were going with that.
You knew I was going with that. We're going with it. Right. Over on the DraftKings Sportsbook app, of course, no more PHNX Rising games to bet on, in which case, if you were betting on them losing, you'd probably have done not too bad this season. But you can, of course, bet on the NBA. How are you feeling about the early basketball season there, Max?
Let's go Suns. That's pretty much that's all I need to say. You can see, so a quick shout out. You can see them in person if you would like to go to our Suns takeover tomorrow, where we have food buffet, drinks, and a ticket to the game. Check out PHNX_Suns on Twitter for the link. But anyway, yes, go Suns. That's my prediction.
Yeah. In case you like an ad inside your ad, Max is here to provide that. But new customers can bet just $5 on any NBA moneyline bet and get $200 if the team wins. You can also boost your winnings up to 100% with DraftKings stepped up same game parlays. It's simple. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use promo code PHNX. That's promo code PHNX on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See the show notes for details.
Let's go.
And make sure, we didn't get your parlay for this week, of course, of the European games. So we'll need an alternative parlay of some variety, I'm sure.
Of course, didn't really put it out there because it kind of squashed pretty badly.
Yeah, but we're making you do one. We're making you commit to one right here, right live on air.
Man.
I'm not sure what we're going with. Let's have a look. What games have we got on this weekend that will be interesting?
Actually, Sunday in the Prem has two pretty nice matchups: Chelsea, Arsenal, And of course, Tottenham Liverpool.
Oh no, we're not doing that. We're doing the super parlay right now. We're doing the FA Cup first round. Come on, Max. Let's go through these. Let's go quick fire, quick fire. Sheffield Wednesday against Morecambe. This is a Friday game.
What was this? What was the second team? I didn't hear you.
Morecambe.
I'll go with them because you're not gonna. You have to. Oh, you can only win on a Wednesday, and you're not playing on a Wednesday. Bam. That's how it works.
You're taking Morecambe,
of course.
So that's Morecambe on the Friday. Another Friday game: Hereford against Portsmouth.
Oh, Portsmouth. Yep.
South Shields against Forest Green Rovers.
That sounds like a draw to me every day of the week.
Bradford against Harrogate Town.
Bradford.
Bolton against Barnsley.
Oh gosh. Bolton gonna keep wandering. Give me Barnsley.
He's going with Barnsley. Solihull Moors against Hartlepool United.
Draw.
Crewe against Leyton Orient.
Draw.
You have no idea who half these teams are, do you?
That is, how dare you? I just know it. Hey, it starts with a draw and ends with a draw.
Peterborough against Salford.
Draw.
Port Vale against Exeter City.
Oh, Exeter City.
There we go. Correct answer. Former team I used to cover. Fun fact. Cheltenham Town against Alvechurch.
Oh, gosh. Alvechurch, sure.
That's a hell of an upset. Okay. Yeah. Fleetwood Town against Oxford City. Oxford City, to be clear, not Oxford United.
At this point, this parlay, Oxford City.
Going with Oxford City. I'm wondering how much more I can do before it tells me nah.
Oh, dear gosh.
Chippenham against Lincoln.
I love how this started with 5 of them, and we're now, what are we on?
Keep going, 13? keep going.
What do we got?
Chippenham against Lincoln.
Lincoln.
Bristol Rovers against Rochdale.
Bristol.
Crawley against Accrington Stanley.
Crawley.
Burton against Needham Market.
Draw.
Okay. He's not going with Burton there. Charlton against Colville Town.
Charlton.
Buxton against Merthyr.
Merthyr. Nice.
We're going with a Welsh theme here. I like it. Weymouth against AFC Wimbledon.
I gotta go AFC Wimbledon.
Yeah, this has now reached a point where it's too many that it won't parlay them all. So I'm actually gonna.
Oh dear gosh, how many digits? 9 digits.
After 13 games, we were at. I gotta count the zeros. I gotta.
Oh, this has gone off the rails.
Plus 529,738,710. So if you put $10 on it, you'd win 52 million, almost 53 million.
You want to put
on the first 13 games.
You want to put like a penny on it, that way it's just like, go nuts.
I could put $1 on it and it's like 5 million payout. I'll take 5 million.
Put a $1 on it.
That's money. Why not? I think some of your picks are daft, but we'll go with it. Oh well.
we're
calling it.
How you win.
Yeah, we're calling it there. I'm not even completing the round because it's just too many.
Oh man. Yeah. Oh gosh.
There we go. I want to see that. Anyone who wants, tweet us in your most adventurous, we'll say a 10-leg parlay for the FA Cup first round. Let us know what you're going with. Let us know what the odds are. And then if someone wins, rumor has it that you're buying the first round of drinks at one of the World Cup watch parties. If someone wins. If we're talking a 10-leg parlay in the FA Cup, you could win a lot of money on those. You can take the first round on that one.
Rumor has it if you win, you're buying all the rounds for every World Cup watch party. Well, it depends.
If you're talking $5 million, then yeah, you're buying all the rounds. You're also paying for the buffet on that game.
You are.
All right. We're going to get on to that final big bit of business we've got today. It's what we named the show for, so we'd better actually get onto it, hadn't we? I feel like let's start off with, we're going to go with the best role player. So before we reveal, let's have a little bit of an explanation. So with best role player, we were looking for a player that contributed a lot to the team without being a typical starter. And so when you look at that, there's only one player that really stands out above the rest at that point, isn't there, Max?
Oh, you know it.
The best role player. We're giving that one to... Drum roll.
Pretend I'm drumming on something. There we go.
Joey
Hey.
Calistri, of course, because Joey Calistri, as ever, is the utility man. Did he have his best season? No. Did anyone on the team have their best season? Also no. So, shout out to Joey Calistri there. He has our best role player award because he did do, I mean, he appeared in multiple positions. As you know, Sejas, there was a good shout. Shout. I'd have actually, now that people say these things, they make us reconsider. But hey, it's too late. We've given it to Joey Calistri. Sorry, Michael.
Yeah.
I mean, Sejas. I feel like we're just gonna create some as we go through these, especially when people send in names that we haven't given things to. I feel as though Luis Sejas gets our lifetime achievement award, doesn't he, Max?
Yeah. No, absolutely, 100%. And I mean, I'm going real quick to Joey Calistri. I mean, listen, in previous podcasts, I've been like, I don't know if I've been as high on the guy as an out-and-out starter. And that's, there's that. But in terms of a role player, when he has deputized where he needs to be, he's done the job. He's done well. I mean, I even remember listening to Owain when he came in studio, and like we asked him, who are those players who stand out to you? And the very first name he mentioned was Joey Calistri, how he brought it every day in training, and that he's a guy who he raises the bar for the rest of the entire squad. And especially in someone who we, best role player who we consider that's someone who you need, who, maybe they're not getting the out and out minutes that you expect from your starting 11, but that just shows that it's a long season. You need everyone to contribute. And a lot of that work that goes on off the field, that leadership, that helps. And like, deservingly so from a role player. I like that. It's a good shout.
You know what, though? We got Harry in the chat talking certain things here. Making up awards. Life is hard when you don't make the playoffs. Well, I'd like to congratulate them in advance because Jordan Farr is almost certainly going to win Goalkeeper of the Year. And that fantastic Goalkeeper of the Year, how many goals did he concede against PHNX Rising over 2 games, Max?
Ooh. Yeah, not great.
5.
Not great.
Yeah. In fact, I actually did some research the other day. So PHNX Rising actually had a spell this season where they went 7 games over, I believe it was 43 days, and they couldn't muster up 5 goals. Against Jordan Farr, they only needed 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on. Max. We're going to go for this one with the best player for the future awards. The idea with this, we kind of argued over what exactly we were going to call this because we all knew what we were kind of trying to suggest. We just didn't have a good name for it, which is a bit of a problem when you think about it, isn't it, Max?
Yeah. I do like to say that you said I think it was the 2023 player award. I personally did not like that because I'm like, hey, that sounds like you're from the future now saying who the best player was next season.
Well, maybe we can predict the future. There we go. $10 and no one will predict the future.
Wait, are we now in a time warp? Because I swore I just saw that same comment like 5 minutes ago after we did our 13 leg parlay. So I'm very confused.
It's okay. I'm predicting the future here. But no, the idea behind this award was to give the person who's making this the most excited about next season, give them the recognition. We argued over quite how we were going to name it, but that was all along the idea. So for this one, for the best player for the future, meaning specifically next season award, we're going to give it to Max. You're going to get a drum roll for this one as well. Gabby Torres. Yeah, he was only here for a few games at the end of the year. And of course, we decided this one before we knew for certain that they had exercised the option on him. So if they'd have come out today and said they declined the option on Gabby Torres,
it would have been rough.
It would have been a rough one. But
we would have to make a last minute edit. Gosh, yeah, would have been brutal for the show.
Absolutely. But yeah, just the energy that he brought coming in, the energy that he brought in that fullback role. And it's something that, look, I believe he's probably in the top 20% roughly of players at his position in this league based on the stats. He's a very good player in that role that Juan wants. He brings the attack. We saw it with a number of goals that he posted at the end of the year. I mean, it felt like every game it was like, oh, Rising have scored. Who's got the goal? Oh, it's Gabby Torres. Yeah. And yeah, I feel as though when the announcement today, the reaction that got from the fans the positivity around seeing, yes, for certain he is coming back. That shows you what they thought of him, what they thought of the performances he had at the end of last year.
Yeah, I mean, like the first thing you said was energy, and it's like I never remember a game where no matter how bad, good or bad, and mostly bad, the team was doing as a whole, he always brought it, and not just in how his running is, but just that electricity where whenever he had the ball or wherever he got in a dangerous position, you just felt like, oh, like there's a chance that we're going to progress this attack and there's something could lead from this. And given his position, but just also how new he was from the team, that's just, I don't know, that's just something that we didn't expect quite as suddenly. So it's a very nice surprise and definitely something where we're looking forward to it for next year. And this signing is just chef's kiss, as the kids say.
Indeed. Right. So, Max, we're going to continue creating awards. I've got one for you. I'm going to toss it to you now, and you're going to have to pick someone on the spot.
Ooh, okay. Hit me.
I want you to pick the best dressed player from this year. Remember, the club always posts those pictures before the games, the players arriving.
Oh, man. I'm going to... Ooh. You know,
that was a great moment. There we go. Back to game one. What a throwback. Back when things were good.
Man, I love it. Dude, that is such a like a specific question. And I'm blinking. I'm straight blinking right now. I'm going to. Oh, I see Santi. Okay, that's a nice shout. Thank you. I'm saving me. You know what? I'm gonna roll with it. Thank you, Tori. Let's go with Santi. Sure, Santi Moore.
Santi.
Yeah,
I
love it.
I'm slightly surprised by his other thing here about Lundt in goal for Louisville.
Was it? Oh.
Yeah. No, Santi's the call. I mean, Michael saying say Haas for the Bandidos game. Michael, are you just gonna say Haas for everything?
I almost said say Haas myself. I'm like, oh yeah, he looked nice on that last match.
I believe that one. Though. No, I think. Or I mean, the alternative is you give it to Juan. Oh. It's not a player.
Well, wait, you said player. You did say player.
Did I? I thought I said best dressed.
I thought you said player because Juan. Yeah, Juan even in our studio. Yeah, he won there too. So. Bam.
Okay. Yeah. Let's go with Santi though. You gave it to Santi. We're gonna stick with Santi Moore. He may not have had the best game on the field this year, but off the field, yeah, I feel like we can recognize that.
You look good. You feel good. You feel good. Hopefully, you play good.
Hopefully, not this season, but as a whole, the team was poor. Hey, we're taking the positives that we can take right now.
There we go.
Taking the positives that we can take as we awkwardly stare at the rest of the league, having fun.
Man.
All right, we move on to the next actual award here. So this one, slightly different to the last one. This was for, we described it as best newcomer, best signing. We could also say this one as for naturally, while Gabby gave us a lot of excitement, we couldn't really count him for this one because he didn't play enough. For the team. So we're excited about him for next season. We can't really call him the best signing for this season. So we are going to go with somebody else. So Max, he's doing the drum roll again. Best newcomer. Who do we go for? Greg Hurst. And we didn't just give him this because he showed up to our podcast with Luis last week.
It didn't, although it didn't hurt.
It didn't hurt. It did not harm. But yeah, Greg Hurst coming in, I feel as though we saw a lot of flashes of the talent that he has. Monterey Bay was a perfect example of that with the goal that he scored there. And it just, really, the service wasn't there for him all season pretty much, but occasionally he'd step up. I'm sorry, the chat here now. $9.99 tell me the future.
Sorry,
$10.
$10.
It was $10. Shout out to Jacob Byers in there.
No, I'm kidding. Thank you, Jacob.
Yeah, Michael Vanderplas here saying Cinnamon Apple was a better signing. Well, she came because Greg came, so yeah. We'll get that Wags panel together at some point over this offseason. Don't you worry. I'm sure it's going to happen. Aren't you sure, Max?
Sorry, say that again.
We're going to get the Wags panel together at some point over this offseason.
Yeah.
We're going to make it happen, Max. Let's do it. Let's be ambitious.
Anyway.
We can take the positives. Look, it's been a season of
I know.
No, let's be positive for once.
Yes.
Okay.
Fine.
We've got a few months before we even have to risk watching that again.
I know. Gosh. Oh, dear gosh. Boy, oh boy. Gregors, what a guy. I love this one. Like, I think as a strike, it is, let's just call it what it is. It's very difficult to score, period. And especially in the USL where it can be a slog, where so many matches and everything like that, for a guy to come in and stake that claim for that number 9. Yeah, I know JJ Williams came in and they deputized and they switched off here and there for a bit, but like to pretty much take the claim at the end of the season that like, that's like you're number 9. That's like your guy in the starting 11, especially when service was not great. Gregors didn't really need great service. Like a lot of his goals, he made something out of nothing. He was very active and moving off the ball, receiving, dropping back in to receive it. And I think that's something where whenever he was in the starting lineup or when he was on field, even when the team wasn't doing well, I always thought that there was at least a chance to produce something. You know what I mean? And like, especially in some of those tough matches where passes aren't going right, the crosses aren't getting whipped in. As long as I saw Greg Hurst out there where he's able to drop in and connect with the rest of the team, you have a chance. And that's something that gives you hope, especially as the newcomer of the year.
You know, Maven's Keep has just chucked $1 into the pot.
I saw that.
We got the crystal ball here. So, you know, rumor has it at the end of this episode, I'll be taking the crystal ball out for something at least. We're making some kind of prediction.
All right, $10.99. That's pretty nice fun for the future.
We're doing okay. You know, but keep the donation. The more money you send in, the more bizarre these predictions are going to be. So don't you worry, they're coming. All right, Max.
Yep.
Right. I'm trying to think.
You're trying to think of another one on the spot.
I'm trying to think of another one on the spot that I'm gonna.
You know, to the chat, do you have any absurd questions you would like Owen to ask me? That way he can try to baffle me. Yeah,
we want the absurd awards, but
of course.
Give us a shout. What awards do you want to hear Max answer quickly?
I'm scared. This is a bad idea.
I'm turning this over to the chat now. This is a dangerous.
When does the chat ever let me down? Oh wait, when they have me spend $70
whenever they possibly can, Max.
This is never
whenever
gone poorly.
They possibly can.
Never gone poorly. Never.
I couldn't see this going poorly at all. But you know what?
Oh wait, when they show up and they make me sing karaoke of What's New Pussycat. Yeah, no, for sure. It never disappointed.
Yeah, that happened too. That was fun. You
had to be there.
While we're waiting for the chat, remember, of course, throw in your wildest award titles that you want to give for Max. We're dragging this out because the next main one is MVP, and we're trying to drag it out and make you wait. We're making you all wait. But, you know, while we're waiting, I'm hearing there's some breaking news, Max. Breaking news, and it isn't Gabby Torres' option extension. There was another big contract deal pulled off very recently.
Oh, my gosh. Yes, and this definitely didn't happen on Tuesday's show. Definitely not. No, but OG's brands, they are back. They are re-signed for another go-around throughout our entire network. You guys have already been hearing us talk about them, but we love them, appreciate all that they do. We are collaborating with them on a bunch of PHNX member-only items, discounts, stuff like that. I put that in our Discord, and people thought that means that they are getting, I think they said something along the lines of me taking free gummies, which I don't know how that came about. But anyway, we're coming up with a bunch of fun stuff. Ramon said he will eat an entire bag of OGs at some point. Wow. That he quoted that. He's not here to defend himself. But anyway, we appreciate OGs. They're doing a bunch of fun stuff with us. Be on the lookout for content. It's going to help me get through the season one way or another next year. So I'm already looking forward to working with them and appreciate all that they do, because you guys, every time I see you guys shouting them out in the chat, you guys thinking I was high when I was on the show when we got eliminated. Appreciate that, because you guys keep mentioning OGs. That shows them love and they show us love, and it makes this entire thing go around. So appreciate y'all for supporting them, for having them support us. Wow, that's a lot. But hey, anyway, thank you very much. And of course, you must be 21 years or older to enjoy some delicious OGs.
Yeah, make sure to head on down to your local dispensary to try and pick them up.
Oh, yeah.
And then you too can get as high as Max Simpson.
What? Oh, gosh. That's going
to
live on the internet.
I've got some more quick fire ones to chuck at you here. Goal of the year.
I mean, Sejas. Like, easy
Which
one.
one?
What's that?
Which one? Against
Oh,
who?
I mean, like I said, he said himself his one against Miami. Like, if you're gonna make SportsCenter top 10, that's an easy one. What? 1 second, Tori. Thanks a lot. By the way, you were the one who was calling me out after we got eliminated, saying that I looked high on OGs. So at least you're being consistent. I appreciate that. But yes, that goal of the year, that's the one to me. Like, if you're gonna come on our show and stake your claim for it, I'm gonna double down on it because it was that damn good.
I'll also shout out just as an honourable mention in that category, Aiden Quinn's Olympico as well. I feel deserves a mention. I'll agree with you. It's Luis Sejas against Miami, but we've got to give him an honourable mention for that one. Right. Most likely to go studs up on Shants.
Oh, jeez.
I'm putting you on the spot for this one. I've got my own opinions, but I'm not sharing them yet. You've got to go with this one.
Oh, my gosh. I mean, the way that he blossomed from after he left throughout the season, and when Juan arrived, give me Greg Hurst. If I'm being honest, yeah, I just kind of saw his development, and I think the more that came about after he was out of the picture and with Juan coming on, you kind of talking to him and just hearing his comfortability with Juan when we were at 4 Peaks, like it's just awesome to see. So yeah, I will nominate him for that's a horrible category.
I'm gonna go with Ryan Flood.
Okay, well, I mean that's a fair one. Yeah,
Ryan was just kind of.
It's understandable. I didn't want to. I left you with the easy one.
Left to rot by the end. Yeah. Hey. All right, that means that we're getting ready now because no one else has chucked these in. Digalio, I was thinking Flood as well. Yep,
that's fair.
Yep. All right, we move on to the big one. Max, I'm hearing you're going to have to keep the drum roll going for an impressively long time on this one.
I do see 30 seconds. I'm going to deprive. I'm going to make sure I don't have to. Not everyone's going to suffer through that. Let's just round out like a nice 10 seconds. How about that?
No, Max, you're going to do it for 30 seconds. So we're going to go now with the MVP. Max, get the drum roll going.
This is the worst ASMR ever.
Or like weird, like,
oh my gosh,
or it's like when you're sitting around and you see the like rain coming outside. That's the noise of it. It's the rain on the roof.
My knuckles, my hands. I'm getting carpal tunnel.
It's Ben Lundt. There's a shocker. No one is surprised by this whatsoever. Ben Lundt led the league in saves this year. How many times did this man keep PHNX Rising in games? Way too many.
There was a point in gosh, what is it? I mean, I think it was the one against was it RGV where like literally 10 minutes in, he was our DraftKings king of the game. He was making all types of saves, and not just the ones where, oh yeah, he's kind of, outside the box, whatever. Like he multiple times throughout the season comes out of the box, makes himself big. With any MVP, nothing is flawless. I think there were times where, especially on corner kicks or he had a bit of a juggle in the box against, I think it was Oakland, where he kind of just had one go over his head, kind of bobbled it, almost hit the goal in for himself. He has moments where there are times where he just doesn't secure it in a crowded area. But if you are one-on-one, I can't think of a goalkeeper who I'd rather have stop a point blank one-on-one on goal. That's my guy. Very, very secure back there. He never really had a game where like he lost the game for the team. And quite frankly, he won or at least kept the team in contention for a lot of these matches. It doesn't really say a lot for the team, unfortunately, when your goalkeeper is the MVP. But I mean, that's just the type of season that he's had. I don't know what more you can say about the guy, but it was just honestly like a phenomenal season, and why we've talked about it a bit, but why he hasn't gotten more consideration from the league level, that's a whole nother gripe.
Right. And he of course was the only Rising player nominated for any of the league awards. He was shortlisted for Goalkeeper of the Year. The problem with that, of course, is that he's on a short list with the player who was named in the All-League first team and the player who was named in the All-League second team. So it's highly unlikely that he is going to be picked in that position. But to be honest, he probably deserves to be in that mix. Yeah. He really deserves to be in that mix. This is a guy who, as you mentioned, it's just kept him in so many games. Yeah. And you say, yeah, it shows something about the team. Unfortunately, it does. They've been pretty awful this year in a lot of ways. But hey, that's There's nothing that he can do about it most of the time. He did his job. So many times you saw him coming off frustrated. So many times you saw him like almost beating himself up about a little bit. And it's something that even in the middle of the season, right, you'd speak to some of these players, they'd admit they relied on Ben Lundt too much. They couldn't rely on him as much as they did.
Well, and I mean, I think MVP in all sports, it usually gets chalked up to stats, right? Like who is the most performing player or whatever. When you take it out the core, most valuable, that to me is which one player, if you take them out of your team, it is the like biggest negative if that one player is gone. And to me, there's a lot of like talented players on this team, a lot of people who had solid seasons. Him, it's not even close, I guess, to me when you frame it that way. Like if you put in a different keeper, or you even just factored what he did for this team, I just don't think it compares. Truthfully, it's just that big of a difference, and it's a no-brainer, this award for me.
Indeed. Right. Well, that means we're coming along to the final part of this show, which means I've got to predict the future.
Ooh. Where's your crystal ball?
Give me 1 second. Max, keep them entertained.
I'm actually trying to think. You're actually okay. All right. Well, while everyone's getting entertained, please do me a favor. Let's I want to bombard this chat with a bunch of USA Wales score lines. Please hit me with them. Only positive for USA. I just want them to come back. See,
there really aren't that many of them.
Oh, hey, how's it going?
I can hear all of that, Max, as you're doing it.
Shoot. Oh man. Okay.
Hear exactly what you were saying. So, yeah. In fact, the teams have only met twice, by the way, and they were both in friendlies. Right. I've got the magic USL ball.
Nice.
I'm gonna rub it, and we're gonna start predicting the future.
This is gold.
Number 1. England aren't gonna win the World Cup.
Fact.
It's a fact. Everyone knows that. All right.
It's,
so I started predicting
the
future.
If you're home right now, just know that it's not going to be there. It won't be coming there.
No, it will not be. It will not be.
Fact. Yeah.
Indeed.
Okay.
Right. Let's keep going. I can see into Qatar, and I can see that there are no Italians there. I'm sorry to Jake Anderson, who we're also going to blame, by the way, for the fact that no rising players are higher up the thing on the awards because he gets a vote. But Italy aren't going to the World Cup either. Now, I'm not sure that's predicting the future, but I'm going to claim it.
I get that. Do you also mean like no Italians like at all? Because I feel Italian fans are going to be there, even if they're not going to watch.
To be fair, why would you go to Qatar unless you were going for your team?
Well, someone might be of Italian descent and they might be there. Come on, Owen.
Max is picking flaws in my logic. I won't have this.
I am. It's what I do.
All right. And the final bit of I'm rubbing the magic USL ball. We're going with the final one. What are we going to see here?
I got angst.
Harry Kane can only score penalties and tap-ins. There we go. That's the future predicted.
He's an England kid. I agree with that.
No, for Tottenham as well. He will never score a goal that isn't a penalty or a tap-in again.
That's just not true. That's just false.
Well, how do you know? It's not happened yet. It could be true. Max, what if he scores a penalty and then gets run over by a car and like his leg is shattered and he can never play again? Then I will be correct.
Oh,
it's dark,
my gosh.
but it's
Don't
not
put that out there. Don't put that out there.
And that's the end of my predicting the futures.
That
got very dark, actually.
Harry Kane, if you're listening, I'm so sorry that you heard that, even though I hope you don't do well in the World Cup, but I hope your leg's not broken or in shambles, or you get run over by a bus or a trolley or whatever it is. Yeah.
I thought I said a car, but
you're
making it worse, Max.
No, don't put that on me.
Oh dear. Right. Okay. I think that's
okay. Wait.
On
the real, I do want an actual answer from you. Out of curiosity, Gareth Bale, how many goals does he score in the group stage?
In the group stage,
yeah,
2.
Jacob
wants to be freed. He's begging us to end the show.
I don't know. We should kind of keep going just for his sake. It's
No,
okay.
we're
No,
not. We're not going to
no,
keep
I'm
going. Well,
kidding.
everyone in the
I'm
chat,
kidding.
thank you for joining us
Yes,
today.
everyone, thank you very
Tori D.
much.
Gully, Memin's Keep. What was our other Jacob Byers there with the other the super chat? Michael Vanderplas. Harry as well from San Antonio. Good luck on the weekend. And yeah, guys, thank you for joining us. We will be back next week. As usual, you can't get rid of us.
Nope.
You really can't get rid of us. But you can actually find us at the World Cup parties at Four Peaks. So make sure to go ahead and RSVP.
Go to that link. Sign up for free. Dun, dun, dun. Let's go.
Yeah. And we'll be back next week. Exactly where you expect. Same place, same times as usual. Until then, goodbye.